The Cybertruck is probably the coolest thing I have ever put my eyes on, so yeah, I'm pretty excited for it to come out, don't get me wrong. I am really just curious to see how the general public responds. I know we got a lot of memes when it first came out, but so many people were able to kind of write it off as, oh, it's a prototype, or, oh, that's coming out in 2021, we'll have jetpacks by then. It's gonna be such a different world, but the idea of someone just going about their day, right? Like, they're driving to the grocery store, or they're gonna pick up their kids from school, and suddenly they just see this door wedge rolling down the street. That's what I can't wait to see. And not just seeing one of them, but knowing how affordable and how big the truck market is in the United States, the idea of something as crazy as the Cybertruck becoming as commonplace as a Tesla Model 3, where you just kind of see them on the freeway, probably in places like California and Texas, they're gonna be a lot more common, but you just see them around like they own the place. That is going to be a future I'm excited to live in, and a paintless, quiet, all-electric future with extreme performance, less things in the interior, and more autonomous driving, and Model 3s having a hard time sharing parking spaces in the supercharging stalls. That's what I can't wait to see when the Cybertruck hits the market, but I have to remain somewhat skeptical of some of the timelines I see going around right now. So apparently Tasmanian was in contact with a few sources who claim to be working for Tesla, and they claim they are preparing a pilot production line over at Fremont. So this is going to be somewhat the same logic Tesla had with the Tesla Semi in Giga Nevada. Also a rumor, not confirmed officially yet, but the idea being that you have a small, kind of slow production line at first so that you can figure out exactly what steps of manufacturing process need to be worked on, how you're going to scale it, and you start small with a pilot line which will start to produce a few Cybertrucks that you would then test for roads, and probably would be pretty easy to tag some of the 4680s from the Cato Road facility. And who knows, maybe they even have a few die casting machines they could toy around with for the Cybertruck exoskeleton, so they can figure out exactly what the weaknesses are with developing a Cybertruck production line and where they need to put some attention. But the reports we were hearing from Tasmanian are claiming that these people that are going to be working on the pilot production line are supposed to move out to Giga Texas as soon as this June, which means that's when they expect some of the first initial production to begin, and that of course would allude to the idea of the Cybertruck perhaps being on schedule. Keep in mind that starting of production does not mean official deliveries. In fact, I was guilty of assuming that the made in China Model Y was going to be out on city streets and being delivered to consumers by the end of last year, but it turned out to not be until January of this year. Even though the production line in the facility was operational and they were pumping out Model Ys and testing them, there's still a lot of validation and a lot of paperwork that has to go through before vehicles can officially be delivered to consumers out of the factory floor. So even if pilot production or even full-scale production for the Cybertruck started in July, August, or September of this year, there would still probably be a hefty wait period of Tesla ensuring that the production line is working as intended. And the other important thing that I think we should be realistic about is where the batteries are coming from with the Cybertruck, which more than likely, because of how they're designing it, and it is going to need a huge battery pack to move such a large vehicle, Cybertruck production is going to require a lot of 4680s, and Giga Texas is making great progress so far, but I have to imagine a lot of 4680s are probably going to be designated for the Model Y assembly line first. Sadly, the Cybertruck is not the top priority at this facility, and we still can't quite figure out what the deal is with 4680s because they delayed the Plaid Plus Model S to summer of next year, which is over a year away, and I'm still upset about that. But a lot of people are thinking it's either because 4680s are being reserved for the Tesla Semi, or they're shipping all the 4680s over to Giga Berlin, which is supposed to be operational this summer, so we're only a few months away from the first vehicles coming out of that factory. And I don't think the Cato Road facility is going to be able to produce 4680s for the pilot line of the Semi and for Model Y production in Berlin and the Plaid Plus next year, and also somehow make time for the Cybertruck by the end of this year. Elon has alluded to this in several tweets, saying that battery supply is the main thing preventing scaling of production. And I hate to tell you this, but the Cybertruck is not going to be easy on their battery supply chain, okay? If they want to assure profitability with every single battery they make, then prioritizing Model Y is probably going to be a decent way of doing it because it's not going to require batteries as big as the Cybertruck. I'm assuming they're going to start with the tri-motor first because I imagine that one has the best chance of being profitable, but even then, that means that the first vehicle they want to prioritize is is going to require a 500-mile range and a tri-motor system in place with all the adaptive air suspension, exoskeleton vault, and all the complexities that the Cybertruck has for sub $70,000 or close to $70,000, which is not going to be easy. It's probably going to require a battery capacity that's very, very high, and I don't think in these early days of 4680 cell production, the cost per kilowatt hour is going to be that cheap. That's why, personally, even hearing about pilot production lines going up in Fremont or people on the Cybertruck team moving out to Texas by this June, personally, just looking at the footage of Giga Texas, I have no clue how Tesla will be anywhere close to near ready for Cybertruck assembly lines in the next couple months, because they don't even have a lot of the metal structures built out on the west side of Giga Texas, whereas east side, where they plan on mass producing the Model Y, I could see that being ready by end of this year. Looks like they've got a lot of the equipment going in, and they've got a lot of the walls going up. Still a lot to be done, and I don't think it's going to be operational in the next 2 months, but I am, of course, happy, even if these leaks are true, to hear that Tesla wants to be aggressive with their timelines. I don't want Tesla to just kind of sit by and think, Cybertruck, who cares? Let's just focus mainly on getting the Model Y to market even more than we already have, and Cybertruck can wait 2-3 years. Who cares? No, I know that the Rivian is supposed to come out this summer, and it sounds like they're going to hit this deadline, actually. So as soon as Tesla can get the Cybertruck out, the better. It's important for these EV companies to be competitive with each other, and I also think that it makes far more sense for Tesla to prioritize Cybertruck production over everything else, given how much insane demand there is for it. Rumored to be well north of 600,000 orders. Even if half the orders don't go through, it's still an insane amount of pre-orders that they're not going to be able to keep up with for years. So I'm honestly pondering to myself what day it's going to be in the future when Tesla is able to just tell you that when you order a Cybertruck, you should be able to get one in 4 to 8 weeks. I don't think it's going to be as simple as Model Y, simply because of how much demand there is for it, and that demand is only going to increase once the vehicle deliveries actually begin. Word of mouth is very powerful for Tesla, so once people start seeing them, start asking questions about them, start to realize the cost savings and the benefits of an exoskeleton design like that, I imagine demand to just skyrocket, even if they're pretty low volume deliveries. And I know that this seems kind of backwards to how I was talking in the first year after the Cybertruck was unveiled. I was thinking, no paint shop, probably a lot more manufacturing efficiencies with the structural battery pack and all that. Cybertruck's gonna be easy to mass produce. It's gonna take them just 10 minutes to build each one, and it's gonna be dirt cheap to produce them because they get to bypass the paint shop, and basically you just have an origami lesson with stainless steel, and boom, you can just pump these things out on the road. But seeing Elon Musk say in interviews and in tweets that, like, if we're lucky, maybe Cybertruck deliveries will start this year, and also nothing about producing the Cybertruck is going to be easy because no other vehicle has used this caliber of stainless steel before, and a lot of the time I feel like people forget about Tesla armored glass, and this is the first time that armored glass is going to be produced at scale. And yeah, I believe it'll be effective, and I believe it will be more durable than the prototype, but it's just important to remember that this is not the same thing as bringing the Model Y early to market or bringing up the Model 3 factory in Shanghai in record time, because they were doing a lot of things that they were already aware of. They knew what parts the Model 3 required. They knew what issues there were with the Fremont assembly line and how to improve them on the next one. Sounds like they're trying to learn their lesson with a pilot line for Cybertruck this time, but still, there's a lot of new manufacturing techniques, and this is a very large vehicle, a very different one from what Tesla is accustomed to, and now I've kind of reached the point where I think the complexities of a paint shop might have just been occupied by the complexities of this exoskeleton design that's supposed to be extremely durable, which means it doesn't really cooperate well with bending and trying to make at scale. So there could end up being a lot more issues with mass production than we expect. And if Elon is the guy with all the over-generous timelines and expecting that they're going to be done with robo-taxis by the end of this year for the 4th year in a row, if he's saying that they need to be lucky for first deliveries to begin by the end of this year, then I say, yeah, I imagine we're going to be lucky if Cybertruck deliveries are in the first quarter of next year. I love hearing these reports, and I would be very, very annoyed to find out that articles or news agencies are just kind of hearing whatever and not doing any due diligence to research if the source is accurate or not, because they know saying that the Cybertruck will be early is going to generate a lot of clicks, and I think there's a moral responsibility for businesses to not give in to that and not just blindly believe whatever they hear, while simultaneously, yes, it does get me excited to hear that there's at least a chance that maybe Cybertruck deliveries could be ahead of schedule, or they could be by the end of this year. I'm just saying, keep your expectations realistic. Keep in mind of the battery supply bottleneck. That is the main issue here. It's not just about figuring out how to mass produce the exoskeleton. skeleton. I'm sure that's relatively trivial compared to figuring out how to build enough 4680s. And Giga Texas is probably not going to be producing its own 4680s very quickly, and Berlin is probably going to be prioritized before Cybertruck production. So that's why, at the end of the day, I don't expect the Cybertruck to be early, but I really hope I'm wrong on that. What do you guys think is going to happen? Feel free to let me know. Thank you all for watching. Hope you have an excellent rest of your day. Take care.